Okay guys, welcome to a video with me, the Stonk Dad. We're going to do another recap video today of what went down in the markets while I was gone, because there was some craziness that happened while I was gone today. I was actually out and about getting my car serviced, and that took me a good majority of the day. I was there for the first part of the day, but then the last half I missed the big jump. So we're going to talk about the data and what went down in market net flow and GEX, and we're going to give you the whole lowdown of what went down and how we can better ourselves for the next day. So let's get into it. Okay, so here again, we're going to have my ideas and thought process once these data sets come in. We're going to have the market net flow as well as these GEX levels pop up, and I'll kind of explain it as we go on, okay? So February 1st, that's today. So a couple minutes of the market started, or when the market opened up at 6:30 my time, about 7 minutes after, we had a big jump in call flow, which that caught my attention pretty quick. And you can see on this chart that price was coming up and heading towards that 486 level. This line right here is 486. You can kind of tell over here too of what happened in the market. So here's the first initial pump on the market, and we came back down, retested that, and then obviously we went up and retested that after the PMI data that came out. So that was the first thing that I noticed once the market opened, is that there was a bunch of bullish call flow. And then we had the GEX levels. We had 484 and 483 to the downside, as well as 488 as a negative level to start the morning. But we did have these positive levels at 486, and you can kind of see what I mentioned here. I said flow is looking rather good for upside, just going to have a tough time breaking the 486 GEX level, which is a positive level. So make note of that as we continue on with the day here, okay? So I did mention briefly that the near-term flow was a little bit rough. It was shaky. It wasn't moving along with what the regular all expiration flow was saying. So the 7 DTE flow was saying bearish, while the all expiration was showing bullish, as you can see by this picture here. So one thing that I did notice, that once we started to head up in the market, you can see in this picture, we started to head off, and then puts started to come up rapidly, and then that's kind of when we got that first initial drop down below that 485 level. So that kind of got you out of the long positions if you were in them. For the most part, that helped you out there for the downside, and you could see that we dropped back down towards that 484 level, and then we picked right back up after that. So let's see. Oh yeah, I briefly mentioned that there. You can see that we didn't get quite to that 484 level, which would have been good for longs. You can see that convergence turned gray, and then we had a green convergence kind of after that big green candle there. And then that's when we actually hit that 486 level right here. Okay, let's move on. Let's see. Let's see what else we need to talk about here. So something that I mentioned earlier is that 484 level was still pulling negative, and then you can see we pivoted right off of 486. So I briefly mentioned here that if we hold 485 and puts are coming up here, if we don't hold 485, we could go right down to 484, and you can see on this chart here, that's where we hit 484. So later on in the day at 8:28 a.m., that was pretty much when we pivoted off this 484 level at 8:28. That was roughly around here, if what I remember correctly. 8:28. This candle here, this little red one, is when this 485 negative GEX level started to go. So you can see live, this started to go down. I posted it, let everyone know, and within 10 minutes, maybe even 5 minutes, it hit that level straight on. You can see that we pushed up. We even pushed up higher, but you can see later on, you could see that this 486 level started to drop negative, and that's the beauty with the GEX levels, guys. You can really see those negative levels. It doesn't happen all the time, but when you see these negative levels drop, you can definitely expect a move to the upside or downside depending on where price is, right? So in this case, we had 485 dropping negative. We hit that level, and then I posted like maybe 20 minutes later that 486 started to drop negative, and we met that price pretty quickly, and we kept continuing up, which I did not expect, but nonetheless, it did very, very good, at least catching a dollar or two move to the upside with just this move here. Okay, and then let's see what happened here. Okay, so later on in the day at about 10 a.m. my time, you can see that 488 started to drop negative, and I'm not sure when that was, 9:58. I might have done that late. Yeah, I definitely did that a little bit late because I wasn't by my PC, but that definitely dropped negative, and we quickly met price with this huge upturn towards 488, and you can see we pivoted off of that level quite a little bit here, once here and then once over here as well. Anything else? Let's see. So also lining up with that was the flow data. This is all on my mobile, on my phone, so it's a little bit harder to see. But I posted a picture of the call flow going up. You can see that once we hit that 480, what is this, 480? It's got to be 487, right? Or 488, sorry. Yeah, 488 there. We started to pivot back down a little bit, and then call flow started to really, really turn up once we had that slight pullback. And I think 489 and 490 started to pull negative. Yeah, so here's 489. You can see that started to go negative, as well as 490 started to pull negative as well to the upside. And you can see that call flow started to go up and up, and convergence was very much active at this point, and it propelled us right all the way up to 489 towards close, the last hour close. It hit it a couple times. Excuse me. Okay. So that's pretty much all that happened today. I did miss that last half of the day, which sucks because that was a really, really large move to the upside. It went all the way from 484 all the way up to 489, and it started to climb a little bit more even after hours because of the tech earnings, Meta and Amazon and whatnot. But yeah, guys, that's just a little lowdown of what happened today with the data. Kind of just showing you guys how powerful GEX and combining GEX and market net flow can be in your trading. It's been awesome. Oh, I actually did want to mention one other thing. Were these GDX swings actually that I got into. So there was a ton of gold orders that came out today. And initially I saw these first four, and then I saw this very large one right after it. I was like, okay, I got to hop on these. So this is another tool that I use. I did make a whole video about this last week. So if you're interested, please go and look up Tradie Ticks by the Stonk Dad, and you'll find a little bit more information about this tool. But this is my swing trading tool, and it pretty much just filters out all of the orders. And if there's a bunch of the same orders together, it filters them out for me, and it puts it on this little spreadsheet I have here. So I did take some GDX calls for swing for these April expiration. Usually when I see large orders like this, especially above 30, those 95% of the time play out. And especially over $1 million in premium, those are going to be good swings or a good play to get into. So that's just a little side note that I made. That was the trade that I got into today for a swing. I'm excited about that one just because every time that I usually, knock on wood, every other time that I've traded either silver or gold, it's turned out pretty well for me, just going off of the flow. Okay. So yeah, that was the video, guys, the video recap. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for sticking around. For those of you who are still here, I will see y'all tomorrow.